Episode 4 of Dune Prophecy, titled Twice Born, plunges us into a maelstrom of fear, power plays, and existential dread. From the Sisterhood's haunting visions of Shai-Hulud to Desmond's shocking rise in the High Council, the episode challenges its characters, and us as viewers, to confront the cost of ambition and the fragility of faith. In this review, we'll be diving into these gripping events on Wallach 9, House Harkonnen's web of betrayal, House Corrino's precarious hold on power, and the rebellion's dangerous plan. Along the way, we'll uncover key themes like fear versus faith, the cost of ambition, and the striking parallels between these fractured alliances. Let's go ahead and break it all down. The episode opens with an ominous tone as Sister Jen wakes up in a panic and hears concern from her sisters as she decides to get up and investigate. She walks through the Sisterhood's quarters to discover all the sisters having disturbing dreams. This unsettling imagery sets the stage for a larger question: what is causing these nightmares, and why is Sister Jen seemingly immune? Is it a blessing or a curse? Her ability to resist these dreams suggests a unique role or power, hinting at her possible connection to the twice-born prophecy. Sister Jen is able to save Sister Emmeline's life by the well, which is later seen during Tula's spice experiment. At one point, Tula's hearing whispers, failing to do her part, "You can't lie forever," introduces a psychological tension within the Sisterhood itself. The whispers appear to reflect guilt or fear, possibly tied to growing stories about Dorothea's death. This internal strife is compounded by Sister Emmeline openly questioning Tula, who even tries to use truth sense on Tula. A Reverend Mother further emphasizes the cracks in the Sisterhood's unity. The spice experiment led by Tula becomes a pivotal moment. By giving the sisters spices to open their mind's eye, kind of seems like DMT, Tula seeks to uncover the source of their visions. The scene crescendos with haunting imagery: a well, the mouth of Shai-Hulud, a face with white eyes with a completely blackened page, and the decrypted declaration by a sister, "God is watching us. The reckoning is here." Sister Avila's staunch opposition to the experiment reflects a tension between faith and fear, a central theme for the Sisterhood in this episode. Tula's realization that fear, not enlightenment, awakened the sisters' ties to the broader question: fear of what? The Sisterhood's frantic search for answers in their books underscores their desperation, while the appearance of the twice-born Sister Lila adds a new layer of mysticism. Is Sister Lila a savior, a sign, or something more ominous? The themes that we can find here are fear versus faith, the burden of leadership, and the destructive nature of doubt within a collective like the Sisterhood. Tula and Avila's opposition mirrors Valia and Evgeny's political confrontation later, as they both grapple with truth and power. The questions I have are: did the Sisterhood awaken something divine, or are they succumbing to hysteria? How will the other sisters act once they see that Sister Lila has been reborn? Valia's plan to elevate House Harkonnen is central to the storyline. By manipulating Harrow, she seeks to secure the Sisterhood's influence in the political arena. Harrow's desire for respect, paired with his vulnerability to manipulation, is skillfully exploited by Valia. The demand for Lord Hagel and Baron Ganbala for Harrow to advocate for young Pruitt Risheji's death adds a moral dilemma. This choice places Harrow in the spotlight, with Valia whispering truths and half-truths to embolden him. Valia's ruthlessness is further displayed in her confrontation with her uncle Evgeny, culminating in her withholding his breathing apparatus. This act of cold betrayal highlights the cost of ambition and power. Additionally, the scene where Valia destroys her voice message to Tula adds depth to her character, showing her inner turmoil and guilt about Lila's death. The mentioning of Griffin ties Theodosia into Valia's schemes, with her shape-shifting abilities offering a surprise twist to all of us that blurs trust and identity. The themes that we can see in the entirety of House Harkonnen are the corrupting nature of power, manipulation as a tool of survival, and the fine line between loyalty and betrayal. The parallels that we see as well are Harrow's ambition for respect, echoing Yavako's desire for a commanding presence as emperor as his father once had. Now, a question lies: with enemies both inside and outside of their house, can House Harkonnen survive Valia's gambit? When it comes to the rebellion's plot, Kieran's subplot offers a quieter but no less tense narrative. His dealings with Dury, the Ixian, and Horus, his partner with the rebellion, and the acquisition of the thinking machine armed with a thermal bomb sets the stage for a potentially catastrophic event. I'm sure a lot of us thought there was something going to happen, but alas, it didn't, as we all come to find out towards the end of the episode. Kieran's hesitation and his interaction with Princess Inez humanizes him, but it also creates a stark contrast between his inner struggle and the cold calculation of figures like Valia and Desmond. The bar scene between Kieran and Princess Inez Inez is a poignant moment highlighting their shared vulnerability. Inez offers to help, and Kieran's decision to leave her out of his plans reveal his conflicting loyalties, setting up an emotional payoff later within this episode and future episodes. Does he truly believe in the rebellion, or is he being pushed into something he doesn't fully understand? The rebellion subplot parallels the Sisterhood's arc. Both involve individuals grappling with fear and purpose, questioning their pasts as larger forces manipulate them. There's a theme of individual agency versus collective pressure, the moral weight of the rebellion. Much like we see Kieran's inner struggle, it mirrors and parallels Tula's growing fear of losing control within the Sisterhood. Now let's talk about Desmond's rising influence within House Corrino. His rise to power becomes the emotional and political core of this episode. His interactions with Avoco reveals a strategic mind as he manipulates events to solidify the Emperor's authority. The burning of the Sisterhood's book during his conversation with Avoco is a powerful metaphor for destroying the old order to establish something new. The Empress's involvement, from leaking the truth about Pruitt Richesi to providing Desmond with security files, demonstrates her calculated approach to maintaining influence. Meanwhile, Princess Inez's plea to Constantine, her brother, to expose their father reflects a generational shift within House Corrino, paralleling the Sisterhood's internal conflict. The High Council scene is the episode's climax. Harrow's failure to command respect contrasts with Demon's explosive revelation of the Machine's sympathizers. His dramatic execution of the guilty elevates Avoco's presence while taking a visible toll on Desmond. The flashback to Shai-Hulud swallowing Desmond and his subsequent scars suggest a deeper connection to the mystical force, raising questions about whether he's being sustained or consumed by its power. This is all very thematic because it has a cost of ambition, the role of truth in political manipulation, and the transformative power of belief. Desmond's influence under Shai-Hulud mirrors Lila's twice-born prophecy, both representing figures of transformation and reckoning. Now, this episode has a ton of themes and parallels. The fear and faith of the Sisterhood grapples with fear manifesting as visions, while the political players use fear to manipulate outcomes. The ambition of power with Harrow, Valia, and Navaco all wrestle with a desire for respect and authority, showing different paths to power at their own costs. With the truth and manipulation from Valia's political games to Desmond's calculated revelations, the episode questions whether truth is a weapon or a burden. And of course, we have the parallels across storylines. Kieran's hesitation mirrors Tula's growing self-doubt. Inez and Constantine echo Valia and Tula's youthful idealism, but the younger pair seems less capable of navigating these high-stake conflicts. And Desmond and Lila both represent figures of transformation, as I mentioned, tied to Shai-Hulud in ways that suggest they are agents of reckoning in their own way. Some of my favorite scenes here that seem to stand out the most to me are when Jen intervenes during the Sisterhood's nightmares. I think it's great because the tense opening establishes the episode's eerie tone and raises immediate questions about the cause of the shared visions. And obviously, as I mentioned, her immunity of the nightmares hints at a unique role and could make her a focal point in the last two episodes. The entire spice experiment gone wrong, I think it's a great point as well, because the moment Tula's experiment spirals into terror is visually and emotionally impactful. You can see it on Tula's face that she backs up because she can't wake them up, but something else does. Not to mention the vision itself of Shai-Hulud, the well, the mouth, and the cryptic declaration that's mentioned by his sister saying God is watching us. It creates an unsettling atmosphere, and the musical tension and the sheer risk of the experiment itself makes it a highlight. At the end, when Valia refuses to give Evgeny his breathing apparatus, it's a great confrontation between uncle and niece because it's shocking and in character defining. Watching Valia let her uncle suffocate showcases her ruthlessness and the cost of her ambition. And even though we didn't get to see an actual explosion, there was a different type of bomb going off. It was Desmond's truth bomb at the council. Desmond seizing control of the High Council proceedings is a powerful scene. His reveal of the sympathizers and subsequent execution of the guilty not only elevates him in the eyes of the Emperor, but leaves us, the audience, grappling with the morality of his actions. We can see the blood coming through Desmond's clothes, and at one point, Valia has a piece of garb that has some blood on it that she wants to run and investigate someone and find out who he actually is and where he came from. The flashback to Desmond's encounter with Shai-Hulud, it's brief, but a haunting scene that adds mysticism to Desmond's character, hinting at a deeper connection between him and Shai-Hulud. I think it provides insight into his scars and possibly the source and endurance of his power. And lastly, something I didn't see happening was the shape-shifting reveal with Theodosia as Griffin. We can see earlier in the episode where Theodosia makes the connection of Griffin to Valia and what she wears around her neck and says it's against her one condition that she's very reluctant to do, but understands this is why Valia brought her here, at least one of the reasons why Valia brought her here. And it's a very unexpected twist that demonstrates the Sisterhood's unique abilities while adding an element of mystery and deception. Watching Theodosia at the end endure that pain of shape-shifting emphasizes the lengths the Sisterhood will go to achieve their goals. And you can just hear the pain and the screams and the yells that she's having and why she is here for her purpose. There's a lot of truth and deception, and it really reflects the layered manipulations that especially come from Valia and are littered throughout this entire episode. For my final thoughts, I think Twiceborn balances the mystical and the political, weaving a tapestry of interconnected plots that drive the story forward. The episode's exploration of fear, faith, and power is both thought-provoking and fascinating. The blend of dreamlike imagery, intense dialogue, and shocking twists endures that the stakes continue to rise across all fronts. The final act is meant to put us on the edge of our seats, eager to see how the threads of prophecy, rebellion, and ambition converge into the next chapter. Some last questions I have for you as viewers. Do you think Desmond's connection to Shai-Hulud makes him unstoppable, or is his reckoning near? What do you think of the whole Twiceborn prophecy? Who do you think the key to the reckoning is? Is it Lila, or do you still think it's Desmond? Let me know in the comments below. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and tune in for more future content on Dune Prophecy, and I'll catch you on the next one. Cheers.